Okay, video is on. Now it's digital.
Okay. That'd been a nice look, Terry. I seen it today when I went by. That snapped off, what, 20 feet up, 30 feet up?
Okay, everything's on.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending our township trustee meeting this evening. Let us stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you that we could gather in this place, Lord, and we just ask that you watch over all those folks in our township as May and June brings springtime and people are out doing things. We just ask that you're with all of our employees and keep them safe. It's in your name. Amen. All right. Approval of meeting agenda. Do you have anything to add?
I need to add to new business, the Route 30 update.
Okay.
I got the letter back for Mitty Culver.
Road report.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I'd like a short executive session in road report.
All right. Culvert, we're adding a culvert on road report, and we're going to do short executive at that time. You want to do it before the road
It
report?
doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. We'll put it in there just before. Okay. And I have a couple things to add to fire. Purchase agreement for the chassis. So I'll add that when we get to fire. All right. Approval of minutes.
Griffith motions to approve the minutes from May 10th.
Trustee Pierce, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I guess it's May 9th.
All right. Approval of the treasurer's report.
Trustee Pierce moves to accept it as presented.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Okay, public speaks. Thank you for coming tonight. Kathy and Jeff Lint, you can come up, stand up, and if you could speak your address for us, that'd be great.
You go.
Thank you.
I'm just here for the ride.
Hi,
Hi,
Jeff.
My name is Jeffrey Lent. Well, the ditch there, coming down by us, there at 2091, we blowed biggest part of that grass down in that ditch. It's coming right down on me again.
Right on the corner.
Right there on the corner.
And
Who blowing grass?
The
guy
guy,
on top of the hill.
Oh,
yeah, he left to get almost knee high and then he blowed everything almost right down in that ditch.
Jeff, go ahead and give me a description here. So your neighbor to which side of you?
He's across the street, basically.
Across the
My
street?
top lot.
From our top lot.
Okay.
He's clear up out on top of the hill.
No,
Right.
he's
That's
over
like
across the street.
76, right across the street.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know what you mean, but
He's right there on the corner.
it's been an issue. They put dump
Like if
leaves
you-
and all kinds of stuff in the ditch.
yeah.
Okay.
That street comes back there. You make a
Right.
left to go to their house.
Right.
If you turn right,
Right.
He's
he's blowing it
Okay.
down. It's coming down
It's coming
underneath that
underneath
street
the
and keep
street
it going down
and
to
goes
their
down.
place.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
That's one problem.
So he's got high grass and
He butchered it is what he did and just flowed everything right down there.
right into the ditch thinking the water will take it away.
Uh-huh.
Is it hitting the road?
No,
Just
it
the
can't
ditch.
hit the road.
Okay.
That's a pretty good sized ditch.
Yeah. Right through there.
Well, I wonder to start out to see if we send a letter through the zoning, just recommending them not to do it. I don't know if it'll do anything, but might be a try.
I mean, you're not supposed to mow or rake
Right.
and blow all your grass into a ditch.
That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
That's how we end up with all them leaves down there off the hill.
But I don't think we've ever sent them any kind of notification. If we could just maybe
Yeah.
send something.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a parcel number so that we can make sure we're sending to the right property.
I got it. on
Oh,
the
thank you,
screen.
sir.
I
All
think, Jeff, this is your home right here. I want to make sure I pulled up the right,
There you go.
right in here is you. And this is the road coming
So-
back.
Okay,
You're
it's
talking
right
right
It's
there,
that guy. All right.
right there.
So that ditch at the bottom of his property running along
Yeah,
Don Haven
when
right
he-
there.
What he done, he butchered this all and blowed all of it right,
Blew it up.
right through, right in here and right there through the ditch.
And then
So
it,
both
and it
ditches come
cross-
down
it
and goes-
crosses the road.
It
Yeah.
crosses under here and
Okay.
goes right down to him.
All right, so
It's a
we're-
lot more of a drop.
We're
off than what that
37.
Yeah, that's a steep hill, yeah.
3701796.
Since I had that screen across there, remember?
3701796, and it's,
For the time being until.
Yeah.
Here's your name.
there you go. There, 2091 Clover Ridge
Yeah,
Ave.
cause he don't wanna do nothing with that.
Mary.
Yeah, you don't want to pick it up.
No,
That's where Mary did.
2091 Clover Ridge Ave,
Yep.
southeast.
Stu. I'm waiting for him to put his tractor and roll his tractor.
Yeah, that new one.
Can you
You
click
just gotta do
back
a
on that
little
real quick? I
bucket
didn't catch the
bar
name.
and compact.
Yeah.
Donald,
Put it in the ditch.
Donald Hodge.
I got that.
Okay, great.
Great.
So Jeff, we're gonna send a letter through our zoning department. Mary has what she needs to get that sent out, so we'll do that. You had something else on your mind?
Yes, I do. 2076. What can we do with that water coming off of that roof? He's got spoutings and that down there, and it runs right down onto my lot.
He needs to.
He needs to put the ditches out to the front of the road where it belongs.
I made a call to Soil and Water, but they haven't reached back to me yet.
See, when we was arguing over
Is that the
that
one?
ditch coming
Yeah,
down
this
through
is it
there,
right here. Am I on?
Do you?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I got paperwork that you guys, Stark County gave me that says that he can't do that.
No, he's not really allowed to.
This is.
No, I know. I called out there. I talked to
This is the house that
you,
burned.
Captain, last week, and they just haven't called me back yet, but I need to call them again. But, that's where I'm
You can
at
sit down
on it.
beside
I
me
haven't
every time.
got anywhere yet, but
Jeff, is that the right one they're
They
pointing?
can't block
So Jeff-
water.
No, he ain't running water, he's running it right down in my field.
So Jeff, just
There where
to confirm,
the
this is,
animals are and trying to flood the animals out.
this is the house that had the fire, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so, and it's running to the back of his
It's running
lot.
to the back towards his
Okay.
house.
No, it's not running back there. What it's doing, it's turned around and it's running right
This way towards the road.
Yeah, it's
towards
By
towards
our
me,
barns.
towards my barns and that down here.
Oh, it's one of
this
those bottom
way on an
corners.
angle.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant towards the house.
Yeah, what he does, he's got like a drain that goes down the ground, it's all broke out. There's nothing there for it to run into.
Well, on
And
the
you-
other side runs out to the
So you're
road.
saying it's running towards this building
Yep.
and the barn there.
That's exactly where it's
And
running
do
at.
you guys still feel that the house is vacant?
Yes,
Oh.
it's vacant.
Okay.
In fact, that's another thing we're coming up on.
Yeah, you can sit down now. I'll do the speaking on this one, thank you.
there's no windows. It's boarded up. So.
Yeah, I drove by it.
Hi, my name's Kathy Lynn. We have witnessed several times, we can't get a sheriff out there in time to catch him. Today, when we were unloading hay after going to the auction, there was two people out there. One was Ross, the other one, I have no idea, never seen the person. But they were standing outside the door, watching whatever we were doing or making sure we weren't watching them. But as soon as I looked up, and that's when I first recognized, see that they were there, this one stepped back into the garage. And I don't know if he was talking to Ross or what. But there is something definitely going on in that garage that should not be. And we cannot get a sheriff out there in time because they're only there 10, 15 minutes at the very most. And they're gone. No way on this green earth are we gonna get sheriff out at that area in 10 or even 20 minutes unless you're threatening to kill somebody. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
So the garage is on this picture, the garage is on the south of this,
Yeah.
it's the south end of that
Yeah,
property.
it's facing
It's there, right?
their
It's right there.
entrance door to their garage.
So
It's
you
right
were on your
behind-
property and they were around the corner?
Yeah. Well,
Because it faces the other way.
I
from your
was,
house.
right, tell you where I was right here. Because we were putting hay in the barn and I was
Gotcha.
walking around and I looked up to see where the goats and the cow was. 'Cause I hollered for milkmaid and to see where she was and seen somebody standing out here.
Oh, there must be a door that goes in the
Yeah,
garage.
there's a
Okay.
back entrance.
Yeah,
That's
it
the only
goes in
one,
the back
they
door.
don't never open the front garage unless they're gonna mow.
So they're going in a single door walk-in.
Huh?
They're going in a walk-in door.
Yeah, man door,
Well-
entrance door. And she was that, she, I'm not sure what it was out like this until it see me. And then they stepped back in and was looking this way towards this side. So apparently whatever they were doing was on this side. And Jeff said, well, he heard him talking. And I said, I wasn't paying attention. I was making sure he wasn't gonna run me over with his tractor. But,
Mr. Chance, huh?
So the time that you see
oh, he
these,
wouldn't be able to do anything without me.
so Kathy and Jeff, the time that you see these folks in this property are when they come to mow.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Other than when he decides he's gonna pull his car back there behind the house.
Oh, yeah.
and,
That's the other one. They pulled that out
5-10 minutes, then he gets his little box out and he goes and leaves.
in the garage.
And there's no power to this house?
Yes, there's power,
Is
there
there?
shouldn't be power in that house. I've got a question on this, though, on this property. How do you take a house that's valued at $73,000, right? When that house burned? And there was over $150,000 worth of damage on that property, and it was never condemned. How does it happen?
Don't know. I'm not the bank that hold it.
There was no bank.
bank holding
There's
it.
no
There's
bank. It was a
insurance on it.
clean, free deed on that property.
That's the whole problem with the
That's the problem.
situation. There was no
There's
insurance.
no insurance.
Well-
There's no bank to tear it down. Who tears it down?
Then why wasn't the house condemned?
That's up to the health department. I mean, we can't condemn
We
a
don't
house.
understand.
We can't condemn a house. And
The
that's,
fire
that's,
department
that's
can
so
condemn
far.
it.
No, a fire department can't condemn a house. Oh, absolutely not. No. This is outside of our realm to condemn a property. We're not in that business.
Be easier if they were making payments to a bank or something.
Oh, the bank would have torn it down a long time
Yeah, tore
ago.
it down.
They had a note, any kind of
Yeah,
note.
because they were trying to get it torn down before, this township, and, it never happened.
Because we don't have the jurisdiction
That's
to do
why
it.
it's hard.
We just don't.
Yeah, and the taxes are paid up.
Well,
on it.
if somebody handed you that kind of money
Wow.
in a property free and clear, what would you do?
Yeah.
Just let it go?
They were out in mode. I will say that.
The bottom line is whether we like it or not, they're meeting the state minimum standards. They're allowed to have their windows boarded up. We don't have to live there. It can be vacant. They can come to their house and visit it. They can't be there for an extended period of time without having a working septic system. And we know that they don't have a working septic
Right,
system.
there's
So
not.
those
right,
are, there's
water
only
or
certain
septic, either
things.
one.
Yeah, there's only certain things that we have governance over, and it's those type of things. We can't say they're doing something in their garage where you have no evidence that they're doing anything. That's not for us, it's with the law. Even if you did find something, you would have to go through the sheriff's office. There's nothing that we could do with that. We only can do what the revised code allows us to do.
But we can't get the water off of me, right? Where he's running the water on me.
That's a soil and water
Yeah.
question, and I think that's possible, because I thought we had a different issue of someone else running water on you before.
Well, the whole allotment
Yeah,
runs
the
water
whole-
on us.
Yeah,
God
the whole
forbid.
allotment runs water on me.
Yeah, so that, if it falls within under soil and water's guidelines, then they can do some things.
Might as well sit down, they ain't doing nothing.
So,
I've done more of that shit. Okay,
I mean,
I guess.
we can only do what the law allows us to do. We can sympathize with you, but we can't do anything unless the law says we can do it.
I just don't understand how you take a piece of property that ain't valued at $10,000 and turn around and try to destroy somebody else's property.
I don't disagree with you.
And
I
that's
can
it.
tell you, this case here is what prompted us. We found that we passed a resolution after this happened for in the future for houses that burn, if, and again, this is only if they have insurance that's paying out, there's now a hold on that insurance with a township resolution until they meet the criteria of either tearing it down or having
we
it
know about that
replaced.
stuff. We've been through that.
We've been through that.
We had insurance. We had 45 days to get that house down, or we're gonna be fine.
Mhm.
In these guys' case,
So, I mean, that's what the law allows us to do. So we did go ahead and initiate that. Thank goodness we haven't had any other houses burn.
Yeah. We also initiated the junk car clause too,
Yes.
since I've been here. Yep. So we are doing things, even though you don't
Yeah.
think when you come, that you hear what you want to hear, we are doing
See
things.
them bring cars out there, you name it.
oh yeah, there's no car sitting there. But it's got plates on it. Well, the other one has plates, but they're expired.
Yeah.
There used to be a rule about plates. There's not a rule about plates anymore. Under revised code, the rule is, I think, does it have an engine? Does it have 4 tires? There's like 4 or 5 things. If it has that, then, and it has to be within so many years too.
3 years or older.
So it has, and we've went to the state trying to get the state to change the rules to allow us to do more. So we're working on it, but we can only do what they give us. I know. We're only a township. We keep talking to them, but that's all we can do. We can't make them do it.
But yeah, I mean, the one window was open and
Yeah, it sat open for a good week.
I don't care if it said open.
Don't matter. There's nothing inside the house, so you can look right through the house and see the brick on the other side of it.
Well, yeah, I did notice that when we went by,
Yeah.
it was open. But I don't,
All right, Kathy and Jeff, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Lawson.
Hi,
Hi there.
you need me to come up there too?
If you could just state your name and your address for me, sir. The mic will pick you up.
It's James Lawson, 3491 Indian Run Avenue Southeast.
Thank you, sir.
I just come in and see what's going on, that's all.
Okay. So
He
I
sent me a letter on Friday.
I sent him a letter about the trash and other debris that was still out there, as well as people potentially living in the campers, which is not permitted in the
They've
township.
moved, they're gone.
They're gone.
But I have somebody else that wants to bring a camper there. if they can.
So we don't allow for living in it, so they can't live in the camper. You can, given the zoning on it, you're allowed to have a camper there.
Uh-huh,
It would have to be away from the road. It would have to be 60 feet away from the road.
okay.
And then what do they state as far as waste goes? How long is someone allowed to stay in a camper that is not hooked to a septic system?
And the debris that you were talking about, you need to tell me what debris that you want me to clean out.
So I know when I drove by on the other side of the camper, there was a brake drum.
Yeah, that stuff was there because I have somebody coming in there parking. And I don't want anybody coming because I can't tell they're there. And I have a lot of theft right now. And I want to keep everybody so that they have to come in the main driveway and not someplace outside and where I can't even tell they're there. That's the reason why it's there. I'll move some of it, but I still need to have something there to keep any cars from coming in there parking.
Could you potentially put up some posts or something there instead?
Yeah, I can do that, but it was easy just to put some
Hmm.
stuff in. Because they just moved out a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
and so that was my concern, them coming back.
Okay.
Is it just a brake drum or are there more?
There's brake drum, a couple tires.
Bottom picture.
Yeah, I moved some of it already.
So what does our rule say as far as short-term living in a camper?
We don't allow short-term living in a camper unless there's a hardship and they have to go through the BZA asking for a variance.
Okay.
So you're not allowed to live in a camper on your property. But we have allowed temporary for certain situations. I shouldn't say we, the BZA has. And that would be, there was a death in the family and the one parent had severe dementia. So for temporary, one of the children moved a trailer in behind the house, so that they could keep an eye on, they didn't want to move the mom out of the house where she was familiar. It took a couple months for them to get things arranged and get stuff taken care of. So that's temporary.
If I split the land up,
I'm sorry.
could I put a camper there?
I'm sorry.
If I split the land up, take a piece of land and make it separate.
You can't live in a camper in Osnaburg Township. You can,
You have to have a septic system. Is there telephone poles in front of this stuff?
Pardon?
Is there telephone poles across the drive?
No.
It looks like there's something laying in front of it, between the roadway and the brake drum or whatever tires.
The telephone pole is in the back.
Does that look like a telephone pole to you?
So the folks that were living in this camper, Mr. Lawson, how were they using the bathroom?
Looks like it's
There was
something.
no water.
There was no water in the camper?
No.
So they were going into your home using the bathroom?
I have no idea.
Well, I know, but it looks like there's something. It looks like a pole laying there.
So it's under your impression that you're gonna have someone else move into this camper soon, is that correct?
Pardon?
Are you gonna have someone else move into this camper?
No. They want to bring another camper there. So I was just questioning if I split off the land, could I bring a camper there? Live.
yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with how much land you have.
No.
If you have a manufactured home, a mobile,
A mobile home.
Mobile
If I bring a mobile home in there, then I can bring it.
you would have to go to the BZA and request a variance again.
You're not
And
allowed to have mobile homes there?
On a
not,
foundation,
Mhm.
you have to put it on a
you
foundation.
could put it on a foundation.
With septic, water, and electric.
Yeah, you wouldn't be approved to move in it without a septic system passed. You'd have to have a septic system passed.
Oh, I understand, but I'm just saying, you're not allowed to have a mobile home there?
On a foundation,
On a foundation.
Because
You put a
it has to
foundation
be
there, you can have a mobile home there?
yes.
underneath the mobile home
Yeah.
because of, it's not considered a mobile home anymore. So you
Oh, I
have
understand now.
to, you have to take your axles off and everything.
Considered a
So
permanent structure at that
it
point.
becomes permanent.
It can't be like a modular home with a skirt on it. It has to have a block foundation,
Yeah, foundations.
a poured wall block of any sort, a permanent foundation.
Yeah.
But the harder thing is to get water and septic to it.
And then you'd have to have it permit through the health department with the septic system and make sure all that passed
I
too.
understand.
And wow.
I was just
Right.
wondering, that's all.
Mhm.
Yeah, and probably, I'm gonna guess to do that, they're gonna have you split your property because they won't let you have two houses on the same property because they consider it to be a house then.
All right, what would you say? I can't.
I said they would probably ask you to split your parcel because you're not allowed to have two houses on the same parcel.
You're not.
No. You're only allowed one house. And I don't know the dimensions of that parcel. I know regional planning, which we don't have anything to do with regional planning, but they have rules set in place for depth and width of parcels now.
Now, if I have a garage like I do,
Mhm.
now if I put a living space in that garage, what would happen?
You wouldn't be allowed to put a living space in your garage unless you tore your house down.
You don't have anything there.
I'm sorry?
You have no inspections whatsoever for permits.
You'd have to go to the building
You
department.
go to the building department,
Yeah,
Pardon?
the building department,
the county building.
county
They
building.
have no inspections, no nothing.
Oh.
Here.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
You
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
have inspections, they have inspectors?
Oh,
For
yeah.
electrical?
Oh,
Yeah.
everything.
Stark County, it all comes from Stark
You
County.
could
Well,
make
I
it
know,
living
that's
space,
our
but
problem
you
now,
have to
so I
go.
can get electrical inspections now?
Yeah.
Because I questioned that before, and I didn't see anywhere where I can get electrical inspections at all.
You have to pull
Or
permit.
plumbing inspections, nothing.
Permit.
Huh?
You have to
Didn't
pull a
get a
building
permit.
permit.
Well, that's fine, a building permit, but I'm just
Then you
saying
have
inspections,
to-
so if I wanna modify my house electrically, I can go get a permit and get it inspected?
Yep.
You sure about this? I've never seen any, when did they start having that?
That's all.
Because the last time I checked, they don't have any.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm 100, we're building a structure up here
Now
right
they
now.
have it
They're
in the city,
inspecting
but
it.
since we're in the township, township's different.
That's
No.
county.
Colored about like that.
It's county.
We're putting up a salt bin. We're putting up a salt bin and nobody's living in it. And we're required a building permit. We're required electrical inspections because it does have
Because
electric.
I had people across the street, they put a building up in the back. And I don't see where they put a permit out. Usually you have to,
It's
you're
there.
required to put a permit out. They didn't do anything. They just put the building up. They put the
There's no
electric in and
requirement
everything.
to post it, we're out front. You just have to be, there's no requirement to post it out front. It just has to be posted on the scene.
You
On
don't
the
have to
building.
post it at all?
Yes, they have to post it, but they don't have to post it where everybody can see it.
It could be taken to the building.
It could be inside
Okay,
the
so-
building.
Yeah, it
but
has to
you-
be.
You know if
Inside
they
the
have a
building.
permit? For across the street?
I'm not sure where you're talking about.
Oh, they put something in the back. I see it lit up at
Like
night.
straight across from your lot?
Pardon?
Straight across from your lot?
I only had one neighbor.
right there.
So it is definitely true that folks in the township will build a building without a permit, and that's illegal. And we try to catch that as much as we can, because they have to
I
pull,
don't see
they have to
any
pull a permit.
building department, that's the only thing.
The building department is through Stark County. We do not, all of Stark
I
County.
understand who it's through, but I just don't see that there is one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, they have their own building in Canton with
Well,
multiple
the
staff.
question is, if I have to work on my electrical,
Mhm.
especially my service entry, I need to get a permit for that, or how do I do that?
Well,
Yes.
if you
Because
go
I
to
don't,
an
I'm not gonna get an
electrician,
electrician to do that, I do my own work.
You're allowed, you have a permit, but you're allowed to do your own work and they will inspect your work.
I understand, but I don't know where to get a permit for it. I've never seen anybody really even talk about it.
Regional planning.
Or can't,
Mr. Lawson, we can discuss the permit pulling, but I'm more concerned about the lot and the cleanup of the lot. Because
Well, I asked,
we've been here,
you
this
tell
is,
me what needs to be cleaned up. I'll clean it up.
You'll have to
But
get,
I
you
have
need to get
to
some,
know.
you need to get some gates or something if you wanna block the driveway. You need to clean the trash out, tires out.
Pardon?
You
there's,
need to get the tires and the trash out.
there's lots of trash, lots of tires.
Well, the tires are okay. They have rims on them, there's nothing illegal about them.
the only issue is if, according to the health department, they consider it debris. You're allowed a certain size pile of debris, but you're not allowed to have it spread out all over.
Well, I know.
So
but
you
have
need
tell
to
me
consolidate-
What you consider debris.
Debris is anything that's in the way that you can't mow your grass, which is part of the problem because the grass is growing through the stuff, so you can't mow it.
Sure, I can.
Well, then.
When's the
please
last
do.
time you mowed it?
More.
I mean, we must be looking at this at a different lot, sir, because every time I drive by this property, there's nothing mowed.
I haven't mowed it yet.
So you're not mowing it.
I will. It's not a problem. I'll just get the mower out and mow it. It takes about an hour to mow the whole thing.
Well, right now-
That's a big deal.
Well, the
The
neighbors.
big
are
deal
complaining.
is that neighbors are complaining, our phone's
I
ringing.
only have one neighbor.
Oh, you've got many neighbors that drive by your house.
They can drive by
I had
my
a
house.
long conversation with a
They
neighbor
are
about
not-
6 houses
They are
down.
not neighbors. I have one neighbor. That's it.
No,
There's
I'm
nobody
serious.
else around.
Come on.
There's nobody behind me. There's nobody on my sides, nothing.
The complaints are still coming in.
Well, that's good.
Whether you think we're making it up or not, we're still getting.
Well,
Well,
that's
we
fine,
have
that's
zoning,
fine.
we have
I
zoning
understand
requirements
that.
for your grass. If your grass is above that
Oh,
requirement,
the
we'll
grass.
mow it
It's
for you
not a
and put it on
problem.
your
It's just
tax
that
bill.
It rains a lot this springtime.
Yeah, and
we
everybody
have a
else
lot of
mowed your
rain.
yard.
And you have to understand that I'm in a low section of property. I'm not on a hill or anything else. When it rains, it floods there.
Okay.
You're
So-
not the only guy in the
So,
world.
Mr. Lawson, you tell me, when can you get it mowed, and I'll drive by it the day after you tell me you're gonna mow it, and we'll see how it goes. You tell me what day you wanna mow it.
I don't really. I can't. Is it gonna rain tonight? Is it gonna rain tomorrow? Is it
How about
gonna
we do
rain?
It
this?
doesn't matter, you're out of, you're gonna
Well,
get
you see,
letters.
That's the question. When is it gonna rain?
We have zoning and then we have laws, and that's the way they are.
If it rains, I'm not gonna mow.
Then don't mow it.
Okay.
Do you mow when you write?
So
chapter?
where are we in the, how many letters is this to Mr. Lawson?
This is the third one, first
No, this is the
certified.
first one. Never got received one.
You already came to a meeting this year.
Huh?
You already were at a meeting. You
That was
came,
last year.
that was last year. Okay.
Last year,
That was
yeah.
the first
That was
letter.
the first last
like
year.
a
So this, what
warning
he's
letter.
holding is the first, is number one.
That's the first certified letter that I
Okay.
sent.
So what's our law till we send somebody out to mow it?
So you have 7 days from the first letter. Usually we send a second letter.
So there's been one letter so far.
Okay. So in 7 days, we'll send another. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, then what?
After the third
It'll
letter,
be
we send
posted, and
it.
it'll be mowed, and it'll be on your tax bill.
Pardon?
It'll be posted, after the second letter, it'll get posted, and then we'll take care of it, and it'll go on your tax
Well,
bill.
you have to send me a certified letter now.
You'll get them.
You'll get them.
Okay.
You'll get it. So 7 days, we send another. And then what's the third letter timeline then?
So for that second certified letter, it's 7 days as well.
Okay. All right.
So how much time do I have?
So we have 14 days.
Okay,
14 days. And then we're going to line somebody up to go mow it.
okay.
So,
No, you can't do that. You have to send a certified letter.
oh, you'll have your certified letters.
You have to send that first.
Great. You'll have it.
Oh, okay. Anything else? Can I have somebody come out and tell me what's debris, what you consider debris? I really do need that.
I can go out. When are you available?
Pretty much every day.
I can be out there tomorrow, probably 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds good? All right, Mr. Lawson, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this was fun.
All right, moving along. Public speaks, all taken care of. Let's move to the fire report.
The only thing that I have is we have been looking at the possibility of getting a water softener system for the building.
Okay.
We replaced faucets. Faucets in the men's room and women's room and the kitchen at least twice since I've been there, simply because the water is, East Canton's water is not super awesome. So it's pretty hard on stuff, including like the urinal not flushing and those things. So we have one quote back. We have also requested a quote from Kevin Miller.
Okay.
To see. So I have one price, I'm waiting on the other one, but we are looking at hopefully getting a water softener system for the station and hope that that helps with some of our issues, but that is all I have.
Great. I have a purchase agreement here in front of me for the chassis for the ambulance. We've already made a motion and approved this, so we just need to sign it and send it back, but we'll do that tonight. I think I'm gonna have Mr. Lowry sign it too, so we have the fiscal officer on there. At this point, just as an update to this, we're gonna turn this back in. We don't owe Liberty Ford any money now. As soon as they can order it, they'll order it. But the purchase agreement will be on their desk and ready to order as soon as they can. So that'll be nice. So hopefully we'll be one of the first clicks.
Well, we need to follow up with them to make sure we're not in a stack, or when we.
I will communicate with Dave Ewing on this. Because I'm just I'll bother him in a month and say, hey, where are we? Have you heard yet? Yeah. He's very good. He's very good about answering his phone. He's very easy to talk to, easy to get a hold of. So I'll double check. So that's good. A good point. The other thing I have here is, do we have an open house coming up? Is that right? Can you tell us a little about that?
Sure. July 9th, we are hoping to do an open house. We didn't do a pancake breakfast. It's been a little difficult since COVID. We don't want to pack everybody in a room. So our goal is to do an open house July 9th and have people can come through the station. We'll cook like hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, just so that the public can come up like we've had with breakfast and dinners and stuff, but to come up and see us and come see the station. So that will be July 9th from, I want to say 1 to 4, but it might be 1 to 5.
Great. Perfect.
July 9th.
Yeah, is that a Saturday?
What?
Yeah.
What time?
Starting at 1.
And I am on vacation that whole week. I might be back in time.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right, awesome. So festival, we talked about that for a second, where you get paperwork for something for the festival for insurance.
Yeah, if I get a chance, I'll drop it off to the
That's fine.
station.
That's fine.
Just
And then,
as long as we have it when the festival starts. Is
Okay.
all.
and then we talked about the parade last time. We're good to go.
Mhm.
Parade was, okay, great. That's all I have for fire. I've got one thing for executive, but I'll bring that up then. You want to do your report as far as your calls?
Sure. 31 calls, 23 ALS calls, 7 fire calls, 1 assist from Louisville. We had 2 calls at the same time, and then 2 assists to Canton City. They've all been on Burger, and I am working on meeting with their somebody.
They've all been on Burger.
Back in the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't have a truck that can get back in there. So a week ago from today, they had a rail car on fire back behind that building on Burger. They showed up with a ladder truck.
Oh, jeez.
So they can't. So I'm attempting to meet with somebody at the city and just be like, hey, what's the plan?
Yeah.
So they just don't have any trucks that can get anywhere off the road. So anytime anything is on fire back in there,
A grass
There.
truck, is it in there? There's no grass trucks in their departments?
No.
Got it.
not currently. So I just want to sit down with them and see
Okay.
what the plan is. That's all.
Good. Okay. I know I've seen a decent amount of social media posting on that spate that, what are we gonna do about, what are we gonna do about?
They are trying. I mean, their
I know.
bureau is out there
I know.
all the time.
I feel
but
bad.
It's not easy to catch people doing the things they shouldn't be doing. So
I get it. So, all right. Anything else for fire? Great. Perfect. Thank you. How about cemetery?
Okay, I turned in an $800 open closing that we had at Mapleton back on May 8th, I believe. I'm still waiting on an estimate for that pine tree at St. Paul Cemetery that we talked about 2 meetings ago.
Okay.
And then Saturday night in the storm, we had a tree come down at Mapleton in the back. Fortunately, no damage to any headstones or anything.
Oh, good.
Fell between them and
Oh, wow.
on the
Good.
driveway.
That was lucky.
We got very lucky there.
Good.
I cleaned it up. It's all
You did
done.
nice work too.
Good.
Real nice.
Do you want to give us an estimate for the pine tree or? Just joking.
No. Not interested.
Okay. Just check it. Just want to make sure. Clarify that.
Once they're on the ground, I can handle
Yeah,
it.
that's right. When they're standing, it's a little different. That's right.
I think that's all I have.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate you going out and getting that tree. All right. How about a road report? Mr. Unkford?
If everybody's looked at the road report, is there any questions you'd like to ask?
Oh, did we want to executive before this?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Randy
Or
wants-
I don't have the sheet.
Oh, yeah, here we
Right,
go.
you-
I got one.
I got it.
There you go.
Let's see.
Steve, are you able to work in your schedule to go with Mary tomorrow? Or Brian?
Good call.
Oh,
Yeah,
If you can't.
one of
let
us
me
can
know.
go with her.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
No, I don't, yeah, we don't want her going down there. I've told her before that we
So,
can always
won't want
back
you to
her
go.
up going there. I wouldn't want her going there by
Yeah,
herself.
good. Yeah, good.
That way we can get it out of the wall.
I mean, I think if you can carve a little bit of time, maybe you both go.
Yeah.
Three's a crowd.
Yeah.
That's okay. I like a crowd.
I like a crowd.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you put your phone.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
10 o'clock, right?
Trustee Pure wants to go into executive session for matters required to be kept confidential.
Trustee Varian second. All those in favor? Oh, do you need a roll call?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, roll call.
the time is. Roll call, Piro,
Yes,
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian.
Yes.
it'll be us three first, then we'll bring in fiscal officer Lowry and probably road superintendent.
Okay. Thank you. Do we need to tell the ambulance builder that we are ordering a chassis? Should we tell, can we just maybe shoot them an email and say, we've got a purchase agreement? Okay, great. That'd be great. Thank you. Just so they know we're serious.
Okay.
And moving in the right direction.
Okay.
And with actually the specs he sent,
Okay, back on. Say the time, whoever brings it back. 8:30.
Trustee Pure moves to come back out of executive session at 8:35.
Trustee Varian second. Roll call or all those in favor?
Roll call, Piero.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes. All right. Okay.
Was there any other questions you guys would want to ask about?
Actually, I'm gonna make a motion and then if you don't mind, I'm gonna make a motion quick and then we'll bust out through this. Trustee Varian moves to buy salt for our new salt shed. Granted, it's a roof or canopy, up to 800 ton through the county. Purchasing with,
This is
do we care which one we're using?
Yes.
Well, it's gonna be Cargill is gonna.
Cargill's gonna be the salt we're getting it from.
But you-
We're gonna go with DRS for the
Okay,
compiler.
so I'm sorry, okay. Trustee Varian moves to purchase 800 ton of salt through Cargill for this coming season. And then will that be the total? That's the compound total.
Yeah,
That'll be the total.
here's your total. 800 ton. No, this is with
There,
with
okay.
the compiler price.
So Cargill will be the purchaser of the salt and DRS will be the compiler. And I'd like to spend up to 57,000. Or do you want the total? Yeah.
That's all right, you can go
Yeah.
57.
To 57,000.
Trustee Pure second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. So Stu, the plan would be to, if they'll let you put your old salt in your compiler, like when I say old salt, the salt we already have.
We can put it back.
Okay,
We can put it back in
So-
the back of the bin before they come to do that.
when they bring your
Move it
800,
out.
and when they bring your 800 and we add the 2.5 we have, we'll have over 1,000 in the building.
Yeah, you don't want to run it across that compiler because we'll have to pay for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. We'll put it in the back. Okay,
Might give you
okay. Yeah, right. Well, okay, that's great. Now we've got that handled. Okay, so do you want to talk? We'll go down through the report and then we can talk.
Do you feel, I mean, are you figuring on compiling everything or dumping a few loads in there first?
Well, no. I think they can come in like you're saying, and they'll dump back in the back like that, just like we're gonna take our salt up there and push it up to the back.
Right.
I think a lot of times they'll come in there and dump, and then when it's out far enough, they don't let it get too far, so that when they push the compiler in there, the wheels ain't going into a huge pile of salt, and they can start from the back and work their way out.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So you're gonna
I
put
will,
ours
I
in
will check
first.
with Chuck on that, or
Okay.
Dan, and ask
Well, we
him.
might be able to get 200 tons
So-
in there that won't have to go across that compiler.
That's
That saves
right,
money.
right.
Save
You'll
us, what,
save a
$5
little bit of
$5
money
a
there.
ton?
$800.
Yeah, good.
Exactly.
All right, perfect.
And I knew that already. I just
Yeah,
just
I
want to
think
make
you're
sure you
right.
guys knew what the price
You
was.
back
and
some
the compiler
semis in there, and
price.
just dump a big pile before you
Well, that was the
compile.
whole
That's
point of making the hoop pile.
oh,
so you can-
right. You don't want to pay for every ton.
That's
being
why I
compiled.
wanted the hoop as high as we could get it in that
So that
35
number may
range.
There's not a
be
minimum
lower
on that
if 3
compiler.
trucks come in prior.
No, well, they did say like 800 ton, but he said, don't, I've talked to Dan, he said, don't worry about it. It'll be $4 a ton, even if it's under that.
Okay,
I double checked with that.
all right.
Since we are talking about salt, I did call Dwayne this morning, didn't answer, called me back about an hour later and said that I asked him what he was gonna get back down here. He said he'd like to be down here this week to put the roof up. Whether that happens or not, we'll see.
Did the roof arrive?
No, there's nothing here yet. He said he was gonna bring it.
I have the
Purchase.
manifest and all that it's showing on paper that he has it on site.
Yes.
He says he has it in his yard.
Yeah, it's his yard. Yeah.
The concrete
Both
looks good.
the
Concrete looks
tubing
good up
and
there.
the tarp, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So I talked to him.
Great. Okay.
So the next, I might as well say too about the mini right now and just get it out of the road. I called Last Friday, talked to Brent. Brent took the pump back up to Leppo's. So I called Dave this morning just to kind of see what's going on. And he said, that's funny because he said, I was just sitting here with my mechanic talking about that pump. He says they're gonna get it back into rotation to try to get that thing back together. I don't know if it'll get done this week or not. He didn't say. And I says, is there anything you need us to do, like sign a waiver or anything? Because I know.
You're putting somebody else's repair part.
Yes, and
I
he
get
says, well, he said, I was gonna bring that up because he says, I don't want you guys coming back. I says, we're not gonna come back on you. I says, everybody knows that we had somebody else work on the pump. You can't get the parts, you can't get a new pump. He says, nope, we'll go on the honor system. I says, well, that's good because we're not gonna do that to you guys. If it leaks, it leaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll run a long.
Huh?
It'll run for a long.
I think it'll run for a
Yeah.
while. They're putting a larger return line on it too.
Do we need to will Brent write us an invoice?
Yes, he will.
Okay.
He said, I talked to him today. He said, let's just get the pump back in it, see what happens. And he says, we'll go from there.
Okay. All right.
He wasn't even gonna charge us above the 200 that he even quoted me, since he's doing the machine work again
To get
For
that
the-
return line.
for the
Yeah.
return line
Okay.
there. So he's being very nice about it.
That's great. Good.
Okay. Micro sealing. I really would like to try to do the rest of these roads that we have, the Smithon allotment, along with Timothy, Viking, Cronow, and 15th. That's the ones that we didn't get to do that were dropped off last year.
Okay.
That's the ones that, those allotments were blacktop too, but we couldn't do them all.
Was there something they're supposed to come back and do after they put it down for the first year? Was there something after that?
Well, they came back and when they was out looking at, running around, looking at the ones for this year, he kind of slid over into the ones that he did last year and because I wanted him to look at some of those cracks that was already there. He said as long as they're not more than like a 1/4 inch crack or whatever, he says they're not bad. He said if they would get worse than that, they would come back out and re-crack seal those
That was,
for us.
that was where they had the machine issue, right?
I don't know. That machine, yes, that machine was messing up a lot. It kept breaking down. They had to ship it clear back to Columbus and bring another machine when they finished up over on Klotz, and it looked really nice.
But they acknowledged that.
They acknowledged
I
it.
don't have that
Yes.
in my.
He even acknowledged that some of the intersections where they, over in Oakfield, Maplebrook and Elmbrook and that,
Right.
he said, boy, them did not look very pretty. I said, no, they didn't. I said something to some of the guys and they said, oh, that'll look better once it cures out. But it,
Mark is the bottom of it.
Well, the good thing is they got it on the radar and he acknowledged that they had. the
yes,
machine.
they did acknowledge. Yeah, come back and looked at it and I was glad to hear him say that to me.
Can I get a copy of your roads? I don't think we have the
Yeah,
roads.
we didn't get that.
For the micro sealing,
Yeah, both.
Both. It's not in our,
I'll run that copies real quick. You guys keep talking.
right there's the micro seal and then right there's the chip and seal.
Heavy, must be expensive.
so what happened to the deck of the boom mower? Did it split or something?
Started cracking, cracks that they didn't see. When Brian took it out and mowed some ditches where I want to try to clean out before we do the chipping and sealing. And we happened to it was raining the one morning and we really started looking over it and saw some cracks on the deck and saw a crack up there on the boom where we had the major problem and I re-welded it. And so far it's been good. I told Dave to keep a really, really close eye on that, inspect it every day. So it doesn't get away from us. If it does get a crack here, it doesn't split out really bad.
So have these not, is the 9s we're talking about that have been too wet, or is that?
Everything's
what-
been so soaking
Is
wet.
that the load that we had semied in?
Yes. We had 3 loads in haul.
Did
And I have
they
that
come
up in the big salt bin now. In the very first bin is
Yeah.
our 9 bin. And I keep fluffing it, taking it over, putting it in another little one to mix in with some of the dry that we still had over there. That's the only way I've been able to get out there and try to do stuff. Because this stuff is, from all the rain, it's been so sopping wet. It's not drying out like it should. I mean, when they brought it, it was wet.
That's what I'm
It was,
saying.
it was raining. They don't have that under roof.
And so.
They had to have it made brand new. I mean, there wasn't even any there for us. So,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Should have gave you that one too, because that showed the total for the
Here, we'll
micro.
pass it down.
That's the total for all those roads at the bottom
Oh, that's the micro seal.
for the micro seal.
Got it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so this doesn't have a price on it.
What?
So that,
This
this,
one doesn't have a
No,
price.
the other one.
that's
does.
the micro seal.
Yeah.
326,000 with both of them.
What's that?
326,000 with both of them.
There's the
What do you mean,
Microsoft
both?
price.
Oh,
Both micro
That's
seal
just
and
time.
micro seal.
No.
I thought you were
Yeah,
saying.
no.
well,
Two added together is
I thought that's
That's what
$459,600.
I said. I thought it was the price.
No,
There's the price right here.
Okay.
But
no, it's a little higher.
I wonder,
I thought it was pretty cheap
you
too.
do my driveway.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna give you that back because that's not a copy. Stewie, I'm gonna give you that back. That was 163.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Fiscal Officer, who's over here punching numbers.
So wait, while you're punching, a question on the road program. So usually we try to do 10 to, are we picking up roads that we missed or something on here? It seems like we have more roads than
Well,
what's normal.
we backed off on roads last year because of micro sealing.
So are we picking a
Not
few of them
micro
up?
sealing, you had Stuckey and Olson.
Oh, yeah. I'm
You
sorry.
guys had major money going on.
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm saying, so we are picking up a few more roads because of
We're
what
catching
we
up.
did last year.
Yeah, we
Okay.
micro sealed and did the motor paving and chip and seal on, Stuckey and San Cristobal now. So we didn't do any chipping and sealing like we normally do at all last year.
So the micro seal last year was supposed to be like an experiment for us. So how are they doing? I mean,
They're doing all right. I mean, nothing's broke up anymore or cracked any worse than what it was cracked. I mean, I've been on the phone with him and talked about this situation, and like he said,
yeah,
he said if it would start to get any bigger on the cracks, he said they would come out and try to crack seal those again because that shouldn't be,
yeah.
I told him, I said, I don't remember that happened back in 13 when they did it in 13. They did it right before I came in the fall of 13, and I saw those roads, and then we didn't have those cracks everywhere like it was. Like I said, they had that machine, it was some problems.
Right. But I guess my question is, are we ready to micro seal since it was sort
I
of
want
an
to get
experiment?
the other ones done because if you wait too many years, that blacktop that they leveled up those, all
Yeah,
those lots, it's going to start coming apart. You want to
Okay.
get this over to seal it so it stays there.
so these were the
for a
ones that
long
were
time.
leveled, but we didn't micro seal.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
If you had to pick a road on that sheet to give us a little wiggle room,
Take a couple off.
which road, which just singly, I'm asking.
Just
Some roads
one?
are $6,000, some roads are $30,000. Is there a road on there that you'd give up to give us a little cushion? I'm just curious.
Well, like, when I figured that you guys are gonna probably wanna take some off. If it was up to me, the roads that I would take off of there, because I don't wanna leave something that's way up, like far northeast or west. I mean, to the west, you're close to East Canton, really towards the center. If it was me, I would take off like Neiman's, Evening Star, and Sendell.
Well, that's $100,000. No, it's not. It's 32, 27 to 30. So that's 80. Yeah, if you took those three roads, that's $80,000 almost.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm not asking for that, but I guess.
Because when
the
you
question
asked me
is-
that question, those roads are not
Alright,
as bad a
this-
shape as some of these others.
This is my question to the group. If we go ahead and make a motion to get this going, so we can write a bid package
Right.
and go ahead and use everything we have in front of us.
How much do you need to come off of there? I mean, money.
Well, we're
Let's just
tight.
wait and see what the bid
We're tight,
package
but we
comes
probably
back.
should wait and see what the bid package is. If the bid package comes back 30, 40 grand under, it maybe not. Maybe it's not even, maybe these are really close numbers.
They might be close numbers.
They might be close numbers. Or it's gonna come back and be 600,000 and we're way out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, normally we are allowed to, drop a few off. If we had to do that when it comes back, that's the ones I would want to do. That way it keeps them kind of close together for him to go back up and do. He's not bouncing all over the place because they charge us.
Fiscal officer, would you prefer us to drop a road or two, or prefer us to see what this is really gonna cost?
I'd rather see you bid out the
Whole
whole project,
Okay.
then take the road off.
Then
take
take the
some
road
off.
off.
Then
Yeah,
take
'cause
it
ours-
off at that time, because
All right,
always
so,
remember the previous vendor that seems to always bid on these jobs
And it comes up last.
always comes in anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 lower
Right.
over 280,000.
Right.
so this is the state bid one, and this is the one to go out for bid.
That's
correct?
right. Correct.
Okay, so the bigger one, the almost $300,000 one is the one we're going out for bid.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Do we need more conversation on this, or can I make a motion?
We're just making motions to bid it.
To bid.
We're just
So
making
we're
motions
good.
to bid it.
Yeah.
Okay. Trustee Varian moves to allow Fiscal Officer Lowry to put together a bid packet to bid our road project for this year. At this point, we're going to bid everything on the presented sheet. And Fiscal Officer Lowry,
Do it in two bids.
two bids. Got it.
Micro sealing's one, and your road program chip and seal is another.
Okay. So we've moved to, now this bid pack still has to be sent out, even though it's already state bid, or no? We already know who we're going with.
No, I would put the purchase order for that.
Got it. Okay. So motion number one is for the chip and seal. I'd like to make a second motion to put together a bid packet for the road project.
Let's go with Griffith. I'll second the first bid package for chip and seal.
All those in favor? Aye. I don't want to move too fast on you.
Yeah,
You okay?
yeah.
And then second motion will be to put together the bid packet for the road project for 2022, which includes 16 roads.
That's the chip and seal.
No, this is,
That's,
No, first, you got the one you're right.
this is chip and seal.
That's micro.
That's micro seal.
what did I say first, microsil?
No, you said chip and
Yeah.
seal.
Chip and
First
seal
one,
is
you
the
said chip
biggest
and
one
seal.
right there.
Okay, so now we need microsil.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Trustee Varian moves to make a motion to send out the bid for microsil.
Micro seal.
Microsil.
Trustee Beal saying.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
All right.
Fiscal officer, do you need anything else from us to put that together? I know we don't meet for a couple weeks.
When will be the deadline due date back on that, Brian?
Once I get it in the paper, because that will definitely go in the Alliance Review and on the internet and on our website, we got to give 30 days. So I'm just looking out on your meetings, based on your meetings. You have a meeting on June 13th. If I can get this pulled off by the end of this week, it can go in next week. They got early deadline because next week's holiday. But if I can get it out in the package on June 3rd, then you're looking at July 3rd is 30 days. But naturally, we got July 4th, and then until you get into your next meeting, let me just double check
The
here.
13th would be our next meeting,
Yeah, but with your next meeting,
or
July the 11th would be your next meeting. You can do it on that one.
yeah.
Now, just so I'm understanding everything here with you guys, we're gonna go forward most likely with doing all the roads on the micro seal, but the chip and seal, we might take some off if it's
That's the
too
only
much.
one that might have something
Okay,
off once we see it come back in.
Okay, thank you.
What is DS on Hill? On the chip and seal? The third one down, it says DS on Hill.
Dude, what's that mean?
We're at,
your chip and
Third one
seal.
on your chip and
Oh.
seal.
DS on Hill.
Oh, on Sam Crable. Sam Crable up at Route 30, Sam Crable on Route 30, where you go up over the steep one down towards Leeches. That hill is really bad right there. We're gonna double coat just the hill. He'll come down through, do a pass on it, turn around, spray it again, put a double coat on it. It's really coming apart. I don't wanna see that road blow up.
So that, the DS on Hill is the second pass.
Double,
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, got it.
yes.
Okay.
When I looked at that, I asked him and looked at it, and right away, he said, you wanna do a double? And I said, that's what I was gonna ask you, if we could do that, because he agreed. He says, that thing looks like it's really breaking up and starting to slip on us. This last winter here, with the salt and the way everything thawed, it's really cracking up and breaking up. I'm still gonna go in and do my patchwork with a Durapatcher, which will help a lot of stuff, but
All right, Mr. Uncle Fur, how about new business?
Where's my paper at? The Jake brake signs and stuff dealing with that. Last year, that was when, Stanley Starcher down here on Route 30 by Patty's Diner.
okay.
He's tired of the Jake brake noise all the time because you have the Petros on one side, you have Marathon on the other, you have Evening Star right there. All the truck traffic slowing down to turn in these places. He says the Jake brake is terrible. So last year I started trying to contact the state, wasn't getting through to anybody. Finally called again and got to talk to someone down in Columbus, which was Ray Marsh, I think. And then he put me through and I talked to Justin Chesnick here. I think you guys got a paper right there in front of you. And they're the ones that sent this in an email to me to tell us how to go about doing this, which, we would have to make a resolution up through our township for this. And then we send that back into them. And then he said, we pick where we want them to put the signs up on both sides of the area on 30, and then we have to buy the signs. They will put them up, and then from then on, they will maintain them.
I think this needs to have a little more discussion, because I'm not so much in favor of requiring no Jake breaks.
Well, I'm just doing
I mean,
what
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm on your side.
Well-
It's one guy over a lot of cars and possible wrecks, and
I'm just gathering the information, trying to let you guys know.
I mean, if it was a heavily populated area, which that area there is not.
There's only a couple houses in between the Petros and
well,
the
my
Diners.
feeling is them businesses are in the right zoned area.
They are, that's a
And-
commercial area
I'm
there.
surprised they would allow us to.
You're right about that.
You're right.
I'm surprised
It is.
We're
It's
not
that's
a state
B3, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a state.
we're-
That's,
They're
they're
allowed
where
enough to
they're
put signs
supposed to
up.
be,
Well, they're-
and them trucks need to have Jake brakes to turn.
They're allowed enough to.
I
Yeah.
agree with you.
And that's why it's a state route too.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised that they're allowing us to write a resolution for Jake breaks on our state route. It's really not our jurisdiction. Right?
But-
We don't handle that state
Yeah,
route.
still-
I'm not
still
opposed
in our
to
township.
no
Yeah.
Jake
Still in our
breaks,
township.
but like that is,
But
we're
you're,
trying to bring economic
Right.
development in and
Right.
you're right about that. That's in the B3. That's in the area of the business section for.
yeah.
I have a question regarding Jake brake signage in general. If I'm driving a semi truck, whatever, and I have a Jake brake and I'm stopping at any of them locations, is there something if I carry it on by that says end of Jake brake that you could go back to turning it back on?
No,
Or once you have a sign?
normally no, they don't do that.
Because if I was driving, say I'm going from East Canton
You're right.
out 30, and
Right.
for example, I saw no Jake brake, well, when can I turn my
Right,
Jake
you're
brake
right
back
about
on?
that.
Like,
Well, the first
a
thing
lot
that
of
scares
times-
me about this is you start it here and then pretty soon it's gonna be everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be,
Well, I'm just
And a
saying.
lot of times it's rural resident. I mean, it's
He has a
residential
good, he has a
where you
good
see
point
it.
there because, I drove all over the place when I drove semi. You'll see where it says no Jake brakes, going forward right here.
Mhm.
But I never saw a sign that ever said end of Jake break. You're right.
Yeah, right, you're right.
Plus,
And then that's,
You're right,
that's more
Kelly.
signs for us to buy. I mean, these two signs, I called down to Columbiana Municipal Signs. It would cost us $116 just for those two signs. Now, if you're gonna put signs at the other end of both of them saying end of it too, now you're getting into,
Yeah, but that's, to me, is
where do you,
that might answer the question about when you get into these zoned areas that you want truckers to be,
right.
and you know they're gonna be there, you need to end it before
All
there.
right.
And then, you know, I guess my thought is if I'm driving and I'm a beginner driver, I see
Well, and you
something-
think too, when you drive in these little communities, much like East Canton, you're gonna see the no Jake break sign coming into a rural area, to a
Right.
residential area.
Right.
And then when you're going out into a rural area, when you're going out in the
I
community.
understand
country,
I'm like coming into town. and
Yeah,
stuff.
but I think if you
Yeah.
set that sign right on 30, and
But
people are trucking down through there. Like,
You're
"Oh,
absolutely right,
Where's that sign
Randy.
come from?"
It's down there in the B3 section for,
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
the other thing
That's
is,
right.
the train track runs right behind them. The train goes through there and
blowing
blows
a
its whistle the
horn.
whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like we're picking on truckers now, which we don't want to do that.
No,
And the Jake brake does help them with safety issues. It helps to slow that truck down and not get their brakes hot. So and we have a lot of hills.
yeah,
So I think we need to be careful where we say no
right.
Jake brake and where we
Well,
don't.
not only that, but you got a truck that's slowing down to turn and another truck coming through there and he's not ready for it. Yeah.
The Jake
Well,
brake does help
either
you
start
slow you
the fire
down big
on him
time
or-
Yeah.
on top of brake.
All right, R&B's, then and now?
Trustee Puro moves to pay R&B truck service $760.66 for truck 201.
Trustee Varian second. All those in favor?
All right.
Great. Anything else, Stu?
So as far as the Jake brake signs, would you like me to just call him back and say, we're not gonna move forward on this because it's in a B3 area where
That's a business zone
a
there.
business zone area?
Um,
I think that's a good response.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
how many people do we have working now? Who'd you bring back? Or,
Ray and Dave.
so you have all your people back already?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you good with your crew for the summer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave is retiring at the end of the summer. He's not gonna plow snow. So I have to really be looking. I'm trying to, check around. I've got a few people that are interested in possibly coming to work for us part-time. But I made it very clear to them, this is not a situation where, you come in here and get hired and say, well, I just want to mow or I just want to plow. I'm not doing that. You're going to work for us, that means plowing and then possibly,
Other than
mowing
Dave,
and possibly plowing in the wintertime when we
other
need
than
you.
Dave, you think you'll have our way back for plowing? Other than Dave?
Well, Ray don't plow. And I've been,
Rudy, would Rudy come back again?
well, he's hired in.
Yeah,
I mean,
till January.
till January.
Well, it's year to year.
Oh,
Right,
He's
right,
already
right.
been approved at the
At this year,
reorganization
yeah.
meeting of this year.
Okay, so Dave's the one we're looking at. All right.
yeah, we gotta look for a person that, yeah,
So that's why I was asking. I don't want to wait till we need somebody.
I know.
Okay.
That's exactly right. I need to be looking right now the whole time up till,
Yeah, get a good drive.
and I'm trying to get an answer out of Ray because Ray said last year he was probably gonna retire after this year and not mow anymore. And that means I need to cover both spots for mowing and plowing.
Yeah,
All right.
probably.
I told him he's gotta give me an answer soon. I have to have time.
Yeah, you got time to get somebody.
Yes.
All right, sir, anything else?
I got this for that forward.
Oh, yeah. Is this going to Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, you had Culvert on there. Randy, go ahead.
Randy,
No,
did you give him a copy?
Yep.
So that means that it's signed for 5/23, it's ready to rock and roll.
Ready to
Go. All right.
So we're ready to go. I can
Culvert's ready to
call
go.
Andy and say whenever we can try to line things up, we can start doing those jobs.
Yep.
I gotta
Okay.
get some more 304 in here though. I don't have enough there to do both jobs yet. Parker brought me one load. I'm not to get another one.
All right, zoning.
Since last meeting, had one lot split that's over there on 30 down by Sam Crable. It's 60-acre lot. They split into 40 and about 20.
Did it say why?
I know that they were trying to sell it, so I figured it'd probably be easier to sell that. I do have one permit I'm working on, just waiting on septic, and then it'd be ready to go.
I'm sure you probably know this, and it's probably not even needed to be stated, but let's just make sure those letters to our friend all get out at the right time.
What happens if he doesn't sign that second certified letter?
Well, as long as I have proof that I sent it,
Sent it.
Oh,
that's all
okay.
that needs
As long as you
to be
keep a
done,
little ticket that says you sent it certified.
Okay.
which I actually have that here with the
Okay.
date on it. That
Okay.
I remember that from the past, because if you don't hear something back from him because you went through the motion of doing it,
mhm,
you guys can go out and sign it and say, we're mowing in so many days.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So yeah, over there on Indian Run, when I sent the certified letter, I also sent a regular letter with it, just in case. So I took pictures as I drove by there a couple times. Over on Lucy, I did notice there's a pile of tires by the truck now too, so I was going to contact the health department, see if they can do anything about that. Over on Swallen, that house with the junk cars, the one resident did email me, and then I got a phone call from another resident that he was burning an RV. They didn't call the fire department. I let them know to call them next time that happens, because they heard that he might be bringing some more in. But I did call him, talk to him. His building, he's just waiting on cement to come in, which he said should be then June. And then any of the junk vehicles he was going to put in there. I already told him what needs to go in there. So
Okay.
he's aware of it. He's willing to work on it.
Okay.
So, and I got some updates that will be coming in when that stuff starts happening. We got 2 new nuisances. Over on Crestline, there is a house with 2 campers out front. Amy had a call out there for EMS. They weren't sure they could get the EMS vehicle in there. That they were concerned about, get in there and back out. And she believed one of the person they took to the hospital, she thinks came out of the camper. She's pretty sure. So I sent a letter about that. The same day I sent the other certified letters. So I haven't heard anything back about that yet.
So that's we're not allowed to live in campers in our township. Right?
Yeah.
Unless, there was a reason.
Hardship.
Mm-hmm. And I also asked for EMS purposes if they could move the campers for better access for them.
So there wasn't enough distance. It was difficult for them to get the ambulance
In
past the
between them,
campers.
yeah.
Got
Because
it.
it's kind of a shared driveway there between the 2 houses that he owns.
Got it. Okay.
And then over on Lisbon, we had a phone call about this last year, and it's at Lisbon. So 172 in Belfort. It's up on the hill. There's vehicles there that are like derby cars and stuff. The neighbor,
Those are trophies.
couple of the neighbors contacted about them. He's now parked them back by the edge of the woods. They believe they're going to be parked cars. So I was working on a letter just saying anything like that's being dismantled or anything has to go in the garage. Because the one neighbor did mention he just got cemented in the garage. So I'll hopefully have that letter ready to go tomorrow.
So it's just a little side note to that. That house actually had a kitchen fire. And when Amy went to that kitchen fire, she got talking to the owner. And he's a firefighter, paramedic. And she talked about coming on. So just a heads up.
That's good.
Yeah. We don't have.
Well, that's why I said they're trophies.
Yeah, man.
When you win, you kind of hang on to it for a while. Just needs to put it inside.
Other than that, the commission will meet next month, third Monday of the month.
Now, we're still waiting for that response back from our consultant, Aaron Sorrell. But he said he'd get it to me a couple of weeks before the meeting. So we'll share it with the commission so they can review it before we meet.
Great.
And then on the BZA side, we have that hearing set up for the 6th of June for the landfill.
Is that a standard? Or are they bringing something new? Or are there changes? Or
There's no changes that I'm aware of. It's just in the book, it says for strip mining and that stuff, it has to be renewed
Yeah.
every year.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
Great, thank you. Okay. Doesn't look like we have any old business. In the new business, would you like to speak about Route 30?
I will. Great. So we were requested by the Stark County Commissioners to create a letter of support for a multimodal discretionary grant that is now available for the Route 30 expansion. So they sent us a template letter. I did tweak it a little bit to more reference our community and to kind of shorten it up because it was severely long. And then if you guys approve, we'll make the resolution for it, and then we'll sign it and I'll scan it back to them. He'd asked for it. He gave it to me on Wednesday night, the request, and wanted it back by Friday, and that just wasn't working out real well. So I emailed him and asked him, could I get it back to you on Tuesday? And he said, yeah. So with that, I will tell you, I attended the RTIP meeting this past Friday, and that's a monthly meeting. And Kirk Shearing is kind of been the lead on it. And the update is the cost of the new highway is $104 million. But they've already secured $64 million now. So
That's better than the last time you guys met for that, isn't it?
yeah,
That's quite
yeah, a
bit
lot
better.
better. They have 64 million, and they have this grant here, but there are 2 other grants. There are actually 3 grants in total that they're able to apply through at the federal level all at once. And Kirk Shearing is helping to lead that. So they kind of they have a positive attitude about securing the other remaining, 50,000.
Yeah.
So if you're in agreement.
In that meeting, did they mention anything about any Osnaburg residents getting their houses purchased, their properties purchased? I know they were trying to
We had that,
purchase the last few.
they already purchased them.
Okay.
We were given notice, and there was only 5 houses at that point in Osnaburg Township and East Canton Village that had not been purchased,
And they now have.
and they have already
Great.
contacted those people. Now, I'm not gonna say that people agreed. I don't know that. If
But an
they,
offer's been made at least.
they contacted them,
Okay, good.
and they're in whatever that process of attaining those properties it is. So if you are a person who thought you were gonna be contacted and you haven't,
You're probably
you're
not.
probably not going to
Okay,
be.
because at that meeting that we had, that was one of the questions was, hey, I've been waiting for my property purchase for all these years. You know,
Yeah.
So, okay.
So whatever that pathway is, there were only 5 properties that they had not
Got it.
purchased yet. So, okay, so I'll pass this around, and I'd like to make a motion that we provide a letter of support for the Stark County for the RTIP for the multimodal discretionary grant that is now available.
Trustee Varian, second. All those in favor? Aye.
So we'll sign it, and then I'll scan that back to him, or Brian can, you can scan it back.
Great.
I'm just
Just
gonna
sign
make a
this
copy
one?
for my record. You take care of it.
Okay, I can scan it back.
Sign this one.
Yeah, wherever your name is.
Okay. Do we have anything else for the good of the meeting?
I have just 2 things, and I
Yes.
hope it's not long and lengthy that I did forget, but it jarred my memory. The American Rescue Plan funding, I did get, I know Randy wasn't here at the last meeting, I forgot to announce, I did meet their deadline of April 30th to get that all in there, right down to the wire, and I haven't heard anything back, like I messed something up, but I got it in there. But with that, the Ohio Township's website, I don't know if you guys all read this, they passed, it's in American Rescue Fund Passing House, which distributes the second round of the American Rescue funding to non-entitlements. Government passed at the House this week. The bill also received its first hearing in the Senate. The Ohio Township Association is hopeful that the legislation will be finalized before summer break so that the township may receive their next allocation of dollars as soon as it's available. And the reason why that's important to me as fiscal officer is I already allocated and had that money approved for this year because I want it there. So as you trustees are making your move on equipment and stuff, we can have that in there. The other thing that I had, if you notice on your laptop, the Sucos updates, I didn't give that at the last meeting. I talked to Phil Francis and we got another report. We've been getting those monthly reports. So they're following through their word about that. But Phil Francis gave me the update that this was 2 weeks ago, that they were finalizing all the last of all the stuff that they were going to sell in this sale. And I don't know how this all was going down, this sale, but I go by there and there's people hauling stuff in and out. I figure it's them. They're going to secure the building and take care of that. And he's hoping that'll all happen before July 1st.
Wow.
So that's the updates I have at the present time. I want to show interest in it, that we're wanting to do stuff, but we kind of want to have that building secure, that we know what we can lay out and start making our plans over there.
We could probably go ahead and order the sign.
Well, that's the thing. All I'm going to do is pass it on to you. I know Stu did some legwork and things that he did with looking over culverts and right of ways and stuff like that. We need to determine what's there, like septic systems and all, but the signage, I don't think I will have like a lot of time to work on that until like we get through this about the 1st of July. If you give me that, and then I'll be working on next year's budget. Now, there again, the money out of the budget isn't going to go to that. We'll be using their money.
Correct.
But if there was anything wanted to be talked about, grants or getting something together to do a big move on this, to get something off the Broadway, I would like to be working on that more in July.
I'll have to get to the environmentalist guy, that to get his opinion. But the problem was, I'm not even sure which driveway's taking us in there. Been there 3 times and I haven't been able to figure it out.
The driveway to the north of the building, when you see the building, that's the shared, that's actually on the other people. There's no other driveway in there.
Yeah, that's a shared driveway.
That's a shared
We're gonna have
driveway.
to put a culvert in and make a
That's
driveway.
what Stu was over with the park and they were evaluating what was their culverts and things.
So is it on the north side of the Sucos barn?
No,
South side.
South side.
Between that building we own and the Sucos barn.
Sucos barn is a nothing part of our
Right.
stuff.
There's a tree line right beside it or something.
Well, the tree line, if you all, let me pull it up.
I was gonna ask you.
I pulled in there the other day. I tried to be a little nosy, and that brick building is bigger than it looks. From
Oh,
the
yeah,
outside.
it is.
So I spoke to Amy Parker a little bit, and she said that she and her family were, I believe, in Colorado, and her 2 kids played for hours on this park. It was like a Ninja Warrior course, and there's a big timer you'd hit, and it was just a reset timer. You'd hit the timer and it would start, and you'd go through these obstacles, and they just kept seeing who could go faster. And she said, "I've never seen it before in a park." She said it was really cool. She said, "We need to do that at Sucos Park." So that's what was a neat idea. So sustainable.
While he's pulling that up, I did go to the school again and met again with I think it was 6th graders. But they were doing through Tom Todd, that company, they were doing lots of different things. And 2 different groups was doing on what do they want to see in a park. And both groups come back with, we want a swimming pool.
Oh, God.
That's the worst thing.
Splash pads are cheaper.
Be one thing if you had like what you said, one of you guys said about a sprinkler system or something. Like
Well, a splash pad is the thing.
Yes.
I think
Splash
that
pad.
would be very good.
The insurance is different because there's not a body of water.
Right. Yeah, you can't drown in a splash pad.
You can drown in a cup of water, but it's harder to drown in a splash pad. Yeah, that building is bigger.
There you go.
There you go.
See,
the driveway.
see where this see where that property line area is? Can you all see that?
Yeah.
See how that driveway is to the north? And then it curves back in? But as you look at that tree line, it looks like there was a right of way, and Trustee Puro and Baron Griffith, you might understand how a right of way might be going there. Maybe it's a shared thing to get back to the field, the big field. And I noticed this double line.
So where's which building is the one?
That one.
Right there.
Right
Okay.
here. This building.
And there's
right here.
garage doors this way.
Yeah,
From the north
garage doors
side.
over
They're on
towards
the
the
north
driveway side, yeah.
Yeah. And then the building looks like it was added on to.
And
It looks like it was.
And there's supposed to be some kind of septic there. Whether
It was a house, yeah.
Yeah, it was a house livable at one
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So where is the septic area? But to make another true right of way that we're not sharing and going in and out on this, we were talking about, you got this area right here to go, and then you can come up here, but now you're
Right.
coming up a slope of a hill.
Right, you're getting towards the top there where you're pulling out,
So-
people come over top.
This field is still a workable field. I had just thought about right where my arrow, I don't know if you guys can see all that. Where this general area would be a place to make an access point to come in.
Yeah.
I think it would be in our best interest to come in there, that it would be good with the neighbors.
Yeah, you want to be on this side of the building.
You'll
Yeah.
keep peace with these.
Right,
folks
if
over
you're on
here.
this side. Well, you have all that land too, and I feel
Yeah.
too, if you put your nice sign up there, and you leave a little green space, you.
I'd have to go up and look again. There's a catch basin right there at that driveway on this side. And then that culvert comes up here with, I don't think it doesn't go the whole way up here, so. I
But
mean-
Broadway is a county road.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to go through their access management at the
I
county.
know, but if we would have been able to put it here somewhere in here and,
Well, and something else you want
open
to,
this up for a big parking lot.
something you
here.
want to consider too, Stu, is because you have all this room. So, and because Broadway's a pretty busy road, if you don't have to fence it, you put your parking lot, you leave that green space and repurpose your building. You put your parking lot past it, because it's gonna be closer
Back
to the
in
park.
here.
Yeah, right there.
Mhm.
Parking lot there, because it's gonna be physically closer to the park, because you're gonna be walking. I mean, this is a big piece of property, you guys.
It is.
I mean, it's,
Well,
But
eventually,
the thing is, you're gonna almost need like an area, an access area there for guys coming in with equipment and stuff
right,
there's not a lot of
Well,
area
you-
down in here anywhere to turn around.
yeah,
You got property right up against the driveway here.
is
And
that a
this,
pond?
yes.
yes, the lakes.
There's a
That's
couple of them.
lake.
That's a lake, that's
Yeah.
lake. There's Miller's has,
That's not
Kevin
ours,
Miller
but
has
I mean,
one further up too. There's one.
So part of the issue is if we are able to connect it to that street, now I'm trying to think of the name of that street. Is it
Worley,
Worley,
Where
that's right here.
right there.
Yep.
So that's why before we build a parking lot, we're gonna wanna look at,
Yeah,
so that there's two exits and, entrance. There's two
there might be
entrances.
driveways to the parking lot.
This
Yes.
is where you need a developer person, because I keep thinking if this could ever get over here, you could put like 2 parallel parking rows all the way down here to get out.
Well, some of these parks, they don't even have parking lots anymore. They just kind
Yeah.
of diagonal
Can I-
them into all the way, the
I
whole
know-
long around the road.
Trustee Griffin, you probably are very familiar. Did you ever see how Canton Township did Faircrest Park right by the juvenile
Juvenile center.
Yeah.
That is the most beautiful little setup, but they've been working on that for 10 years while I've been working. I watched it. And they, as they get money and funds, they come in there. But what I was looking at.
Well, and you got to realize too, that a lot of parks that have success, they don't have enough parking for all
Well-
their people. They have got grass space outside of the parking.
I kept
So
thinking
there's a
about.
small parking lot, and then there's a bunch of flat grass, because that's where all
Well,
these people
This area here, I think if you go over and look at Faircrest Park, this area right here, well, I'm putting on without going back in this swamp and all this here, you could make that look like a beautiful entrance to a park entrance right
Mhm.
here with parking like they do. It's just a round circle is all they have there. And then they put a little walking trail around the perimeter of theirs. And it's all in that like 4 or 5 acres, if that's even that might be 3 acres there. But then you could grow into this
Right.
project
Right.
and another stage, like phase 2 of all the things you want to tie into it.
So we have the opportunity, we can apply through NRAC for a grant that will cover 75% of the cost of putting in a parking lot. We would have to cover 25% of it. And they cover parking lots. The only thing is we are agreeing the covenant that it will stay a park. Well, we already have to stay apart, so we're good with that.
Good.
And because Huntington Bank is the trust holder, the only thing I'm not sure is maybe Huntington Bank has to do the application. I don't know that. I have
Oh.
to figure that part out. But this gentleman that I want to have look at this property,
I asked Phil Francis from Huntington Bank that question one time. He said, well, if you need 25% of a grant, they can issue that money to us, and I set it in the fund. There it is.
right.
Then we take care of all that.
Mhm.
You know, because I asked him about that, not
We won't-
just lately, but I asked him it like 3 times ago that
Well,
I
it'd
asked
be
him.
whoever the grant application came from. So if it has to come from Huntington, Huntington could take 25% out of this trust for the match. You have to
Yes,
put 25% match up is
Yeah.
all. Most of these parking lots are going at least 100,000. So it really pays us to
yeah.
use that
Yeah.
money to do that. And that grant application will come open late fall. And so his name, I'm trying to think
Well,
of
you
his
ought to be
last-
real good at them grants. You did a nice job over there on the other complex.
So I have to have this guy, I have to have this guy look at this first because we have to be, we have to have an environmentalist do a survey of it.
Yeah.
And they'll tell us if there's any invasive species in there that need to come out and things like that.
Okay,
So I'll get a hold of him.
that's all I had. I just wanted to mention those 2 things.
All right. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor, aye?
aye.
Everything shut off here.
His ideas of where we might need a parking lot might be totally different than
Sure,
ours.
sure. Well, if you see this little, I mean,
Well,
closest to Worley is on the very far bottom, but you see there's a little easement. At one point, there's an easement that pops down in the very left bottom corner. You
It's
see
where
that
those
little
drive,
chunk?
that's supposed to be driving. I did talk to the
Yeah.
farmer
Yeah.
that owns on the right side.
Okay,
And that ground, I think where we was on him,
okay.
that little drive.